The journey to the final table in any poker tournament is arduous. While some will falter, they'll stumble, others will rise to the challenge and grasp victory. But in this tournament, there's a twist. It's ladies only and the claws are out. This is the Party Poker Women's World Open 2. Good evening, I'm Jesse May. This is the Party Poker Women's World Open 2. I'm delighted to be joined again by someone whose poker skills are envied, admired, and respected, Robert Williamson III.
Hi, Jesse.
Now, Robert, you've been over here a lot in Europe. I know you captained the international side for the U.S. in poker 3 years in a row. What do you think about the European style of poker?
They're definitely not afraid to get their money in the middle. Americans play a little tighter form of poker. Over here, you don't have to have a hand. Just get the money in.
Yeah, we're talking about getting the money in. I mean, I've been so impressed during this tournament. I think more money has been bet already with nothing than in any tournament I can remember. Has it surprised you?
Absolutely. There's been an awful lot of bluffing going on, but there's been some great poker as well.
Now, tonight's our last heat. One seat open at the final table. I feel like we've saved the best for last. This field is very tough.
Two finalists from last year at this table. This one's going to be a barn burner for sure.
It will. Let's meet the players. Well, it's the best for last, but who will outlast the best of the best? Tough table tonight, Robert. I'm looking forward to this.
Me too, Jesse.
And in seat number 2, last year's runner-up. A lot of people think she might be one of the best female players in Europe, but sometimes she flies under the radar, Jen Mason. She's a double PhD, I think, in classics and philosophy or something like that. Also, Hammam from Germany, and Hammam was heads up with Jen Mason in the last heat last year. They had a bitter rivalry that went tooth to tooth. Chips on the table tonight, Robert. Yellow chips worth 1,000, blues are 2, reds 5K apiece, 100,000 per player, and 600,000 in play. And I think it'll be kind of an interesting dynamic to see Hammam and Jen Mason square off. I mean, do you kind of find when you're sitting down at a table with somebody who knocked you out the last time you met them, do you get plans for them, or do you have to just not take it personally?
Well, needless to say, I always have plans for them, but you definitely have to separate yourself out from your past and move forward. So I try to use it to my advantage most of the time. You know, I like this play by Wharton again because now she's mixing it up. If she raises again, it's not real believable here, but so she limps him with Jack-10.
So it shows she's aware of her table image?
Yeah, I think she is, absolutely.
I think the option, obviously, you can bet out, you can check call, you can check raise.
You know the reason why I prefer a lead out just like she did? That's a pretty big lead out, though. I don't think I'd have let out quite that much. But the reason why I like the lead out is that's a fairly coordinated board. You know, find out where you're at. You get more information than check calling right there because you don't want to get into trouble on a later street.
Raise to 6,000 total. Pass. Pass. Pass.
This is a very defensible hand. Ace-3 suited. I think she's taken into consideration that Jen Mason has raised a lot of pots. Or maybe she's remembering back to last year. I'll get her. I'll get you, Dorothy, and your little doggy, too.
There's definitely, there's something going on.
Oh,
there.
and looky here. Wow, Jen Mason's flopped. 3 of a kind, but Hammam's also flopped a gut shot, gutter ball straight draw.
It's interesting, and Jen checking this flop.
Yeah.
Now, it's a repeat of what she did the last time she raised and got defended by the big blind, which makes it a little trickier, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
You wouldn't exactly blame Hamam for firing out here.
I'd probably bet about 8,000 myself if I were Hamam, thinking, well, I can represent this.
7,000.
7,000.
Well, not a bad bet. 8,000. She ain't gonna like what she finds. Jim Mason, flop 3 of a kinds here.
Raise to 19,000 total.
And this is more a tickle than a raise.
This is saying, come on in. The water's fine.
I think that's a great laydown by Hamam. I'll tell you what, Jen is not beyond raising with nothing there, and Hamam knows it, but she's thought the better of it. Looking at the leaderboard, we are through the first level, and it hasn't been much spread in chips, but definitely a feeling that the ones on top are the ones creating the action. The blinds will go up to 2,000 and 4,000.
Pass.
And even though, like I said, there's been some table image established, there's a little bit of a chip spread, I feel like every single one of these 6 players will think that it's going according to plan for them.
Yeah, I'd say more or less. I mean, of course, Mel Lofthouse and Hamam aren't going to be real happy that they're at the bottom of the chip stack right now, but everybody still has plenty of chips to play. The size of the blinds aren't too bad.
Looks like Bronwyn is sort of asking herself, is the time now?
Call.
Well, she's definitely in a position to be able to take advantage of a tight image.
Yeah, she could have re-raised that. Calling is absolutely fine.
Oh, looky here. Wow, we could have big trouble in Little China.
And if you're Bronwyn, I think you're going to have trouble getting away from this hand.
4,000.
Yeah, it depends how Jen Mason plays this hand, whether she really gets stuck in here or not. But
Full.
wow, flat call.
And that call from Jen Mason must mean she thinks that
Trap
it's,
call.
well, it's more likely that Bronwyn has the king than the flush draw.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I don't mind that, to be honest with you. Whoa, now I do mind it, but no, I didn't mind the fact that it did look like a king she was against. And looky here,
What a
now that she
check.
hits, wow, that is a great check.
King.
Bronwyn's got the nuts.
Yeah,
I
well,
don't know if Mason can get away from this.
No, this is a really tough spot. Bronwyn's got to lay the powder down here, though. She's got to make I make a min raise. You know, I don't think that my opponent has a set. I think I might even have my opponent drawing dead. I'm going to make some really weird raise where it looks like I might not have what I'm representing.
So you're laying the powder down and then letting Jen light the fuse? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly, exactly.
And Bronwyn has just called. She must believe that Jen Mason is drawing dead, and Jen Mason has to believe that she's way ahead. A club, I think, is the only thing that could kill the action.
Oh, look at this.
That is
Oh, my
that's a
gosh.
disaster for Bronwyn.
Well, I don't know how Bronwyn can get away from this hand.
Well, she can't.
Well, even
I
worse.
mean, she's putting Jen on a king here,
Even
isn't she?
worse, by not raising that on the turn, yeah, it's going to look like she's got 3 kings. Oh, boy.
But I mean, Robert, we were talking about maximizing value. I mean, hasn't Bronwyn effectively tried to play this to maximize value? You can't play a nut flush to lose the pot, can you?
Yeah, on the turn, I would have much preferred to see her raise,
All in.
of some sort of raise. Whether it's a big raise or a small raise, I would have much rather seen a raise on the turn from Bronwyn Campbell. I don't play, I always tell opponents this, I don't play good enough to lay this down. That's why I'm going to have to call you. I don't see how Bronwyn can lay this hand down now.
Well, the pot had gotten so big by this time. It's only 31,000. Now,
You don't want to be the first one out.
she's thinking about it, but how
You just
can
called
you?
and leave me with a little bit.
How can you?
Yeah.
She's getting 6 to
That's an
1. And,
option.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, aren't there a whole lot of hands that Jen could conceivably have that Bronwyn can beat? Couldn't it be a lower flush? Couldn't it